I liked it.
Don't give it up, Luffy. Don't give it up, Zolo. Don't give it up, Nami. Don't give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up.
Here's how the story goes. We find out about a treasure in the Grand Line. There's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing. I'll be king of the pirates. I'm gonna be king.
His name is Luffy.
That's Monkey D. Luffy.
King of the pirates. He's made of rubber.
How did that happen?
Yo ho ho, he took a bite of gum gum. His name's Zolo, he's just like a samurai and a Lady. Nami's not shy. Usopp's doing that marksman thing. Sanji's cooking, Chopper's doctoring.
Set sail for One Piece. It's the name of the treasure in the Grand Line. Set sail for One Piece.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Everything Anime Podcast. I'm your host Shinry. Here at the Everything Anime Podcast, talk about everything from anime, manga, video games, TV shows, and whatever relevant topic we like talking about. Today's topic is on the finale from 6 to 8 of One Piece live action anime, and we're going to get into it right now. So, first off, I loved it. I loved it a lot. I know I've been nitpicking the series the entire time, talking about the changes, talking about things that are different, and I've also talked about, like, you know, things that from the anime, comparing it and stuff like that. But I have always said overall, the crew, the cast are having a lot of fun. Luffy, I'm going to go over each of them. Luffy, he's emanating Luffy so much. I love his smile. It's contagious. His joy, his happiness, his excitement, the battles with Luffy, his stretching ability. Luffy is great. Zoro is also amazing. He's got Zoro's attitude, Zoro's seriousness. Was like Zoro also, he has like Zoro's goofiness sometimes, as well as like his care for Luffy. Like Zoro and Luffy are like tight like brothers. Like they really are. Like when Zoro and Luffy separate for a long period of time, they are always happy to see each other. Zoro is like Luffy's number one, always will be. And I love that you can get that from those two actors. Nami, in the beginning I thought it was kind of rough with her, but she's definitely grown on me, especially I think about episode 2 or 3 when she started using her staff weapon. There's some parts in episode, and this isn't her fault, this is because of like the story condensing so much at once. There's a lot that she can't do that I had a problem with because like how they're trying to force the emotion out of her for certain scenes. But for the most part, love Nami. She looks amazing, especially her outfit. Her outfit looks amazing on her. Nami's doing a wonderful job. Gonna skip over the worst one. Gonna go to Sanji. Sanji, did y'all know he's an actual kickboxer in real life? Like, I was looking on this guy's Instagram. He's an actual kickboxer. So the things he's doing with Sanji with all the kicks, they could not get somebody better. They could not. So this Sanji is so accurate. I love, like, his interactions with women. Even though there was, like, I think I mentioned already, like, or maybe I didn't, but there was, like, one episode where, like, a woman was at a table. Before he flirts with Nami, he kind of ignores that woman. I thought that was kind of weird because it's not like Sanji flirts with every woman he sees. But, yeah, it's still very accurate for Sanji. Like I said, I love that he's an actual kickboxer, and his moves do him justice and stuff like that. Getting to the worst one, Usopp. Usopp, you're still not giving me Usopp, man. And this is me on episode 8. Like, he did one thing. He used some gag weapons in episode 8, which I thought was funny. Like, at one point, Usopp made it look like he got shot, or, like, with, like, when he was fighting Shu. I'm going to go over all of it later. Because, like, you know, we don't do everything all at once, so I just kind of rant sometimes. But anyways, Usopp covered himself with the basketball sauce, made it look like blood, and he acted like he passed out. And the fisherman Shu didn't see the Tabasco sauce, which I thought was clever. But he's still not giving me Usopp. Though I do like he's in his costume, finally, in the end of the last episode. He finally is in Usopp's costume. So let's go through it now. Oh, yeah, let me talk about Gorp. Gorp is amazing. Love the dude playing Gorp. He's great. Dude playing Kobe's fine. I guess Kobe's like that. I mean, for live action, I guess. Helmeppo is perfect, too. All the villains have been great. Oh, Arlong being a gangster, it's still weird to me. But I guess it worked in this sense until they went to Arlong Park and it got turned into like a club or something. I thought that was kind of weird. Like, that was a weird little change. But for the most part, I guess Arlong's accurate for him being a gangster because he kind of was controlling things. But, so let me blitz through episode 6. So episode 6, we kind of did Sanji flashback, basically. And for the most part, sorry guys, 1 second. Because this is it's gonna bother me so much. is going to bother the heck out of me. Okay. For the most part, the backstory is accurate, although I think they were only on that rock for like 30 days, because in the anime, it made it seem like they were on the island rock for 80 days, and I'm like, that might have been a thing in the manga, but I believe like a month is more accurate. But because, you know, the live action actors, the kid, as well as Zeph, like, they weren't skinny enough for like starving for that long. But, you know, story-wise, that is how Oda told the story, and it looked great. The young Sanji was amazing. I don't really have much to say about that. I think it was very accurate to the story, like that Zeph gave young Sanji all the food, and he kept all the gold, and he ended up cutting off his leg and eating it, and that ruined him from being red leg Zeph anymore, because that's what he was known for. His red leg was known for stopping all enemies and like crushing them, covering his leg with blood. And by eating his leg, he was like, well, I can't do that anymore. I can't be a pirate. And plus, Zeph was part of the cook pirates. They like love to like, you know, cook and stuff like that, or find ingredients. And so, you know, but Zeph was good, and they gave him the actual leg. They gave him the wooden leg, which I was wondering if we were going to see that. But yeah, I'm so glad they did, because I didn't remember seeing it in episode 5, but they showed a lot in episode 6 and episode 8. Yeah, one more thing. Sanji's goodbye to Zeph, I think it's more emotional and impactful in the anime and manga, because in here, the live action, whenever he says goodbye to Zeph, it's kind of like Sanji's kind of like waving him off, and then Zeph says something and he comes back and cries. That kind of does happen in the anime and manga as well, but it's just, like I said, you get more emotion in anime and manga. I'm not sure why, because the actor's doing a great job. The actor's amazing, but just felt like it was more emotional there, because Zeph said something to him, because, oh yeah, the way they make Sanji leave is because Sanji was talking to Luffy about the All Blue, and he was excited because Luffy asked him to join his crew, but Sanji's like, I can't. I have a debt to Zeph, and I want to repay that. I owe him my life. And because Zeph knows that Sanji wants to go find the All Blue, and he supports Sanji's dream, let me know the chefs, after Sanji makes a meal, they all taste it, and they're like, oh, this tastes like shit. And Sanji knows that they're lying, because he knows he's a great cook. He's like, oh, you're lying. And then Zeph comes, and he takes a sip, too. He's like, I've had, this tastes like dog piss or something like that. Something very rude, and it pisses Sanji off, and that makes Sanji want to leave. He's like, I'm leaving this crew. Forget all of you guys. And as Sanji's leaving, Zeph is looking at him, smiling. He's like, hey, keep your feet wet, or keep your feet dry, or something like that. And Sanji turns around and cries. He knows that Zeph did this on purpose. All the chefs did this on purpose to make Sanji leave, so he can go find his dream. And Sanji falls to his knees and cries, and it's very emotional, very impactful. And then Sanji leaves with Luffy's crew. Very great. It's all the moments in One Piece are so amazing, and I support all anime and manga. You guys know that. So, anyways, that's just a little insert here. We'll go back to the video. Some nitpicks. Why did we bring in Gin in episode 5 when he wasn't going to be in episode 6, and neither was Don Krieg? Because Gin is Don Krieg's right-hand man. So without Don Krieg, because you killed him off screen with Mihawk, which, I mean, is accurate to an extent. Mihawk was chasing Don Krieg, but Don Krieg escaped, and Gin made it to the Bartery first, and he was, like, hungry. And he was asking for food. He was poor, and Sanji goes to feed him, and the rest of the crew were angry. They're like, oh, we don't feed anybody for free. And Sanji's like, well, hey, if man's hungry, I'm going to feed him. But, yeah, Jin wasn't even in episode 6, and Don Krieg was killed off because we brought in Arlong early, which didn't happen in the anime or manga. Like I said, I'm biased, so I'm going to talk about stuff like that. But, for the most part, I mean, it worked. I just don't think Gin, if we weren't going to bring in Don Krieg, we didn't need to bring in Jin, because Jin, he just kind of showed up in episode 5, and he doesn't do anything in episode 6, so I just thought that was kind of weird. Yeah, so when when Arlong shows up, they fight, and again, that didn't happen because in the manga, they go to Arlong Park chasing Nami after she betrayed the crew and stole the Mary. Which, by the way, for Nami not, like, ditching them before Arlong showed up, because I was curious how it was going to happen. Like, when Nami was supposed to leave before Zoro got defeated by Mihawk. Like, Nami escapes the Mary in the middle of that, in the middle of the chaos. And so they don't know that Nami left or stole the Mary yet. So what they did was, by bringing in Arlong early, they had Nami basically say to Luffy, like, I was never part of your crew. Basically what she said in the manga and anime, but like more to their face than to like saying it to like the two other Swordsmen and Usopp. Like, I was never part of your crew, and it was basically a trick so Arlong wouldn't kill Luffy either, because in the middle of their fight, Arlong beats Luffy and has him in a chokehold and is about to kill him. And Nami's like, oh, drop him in the ocean. He's a Devil Fruit user. And she knew that one of the crew would save Luffy. That's why she said that. But I just thought it was really clever. Because I was curious, like, I was like, if Nami never betrays a crew, how is she going to go to Arlong Park? How do we get there? And I'm glad that they came up with the solution. So, and the first time Luffy meets Arlong, he, like, punches open the doors like he does in the live action on episode 8. Except after he punches open the doors, he's like, which one of you is Arlong? And Arlong says, who wants to know? And Luffy punches him. And it's a great scene because it's, like, very impactful. On top of that, we get to walk to Arlong Park, which was so cool. They tried to do it in episode 7, but it wasn't giving me the walk to Arlong Park. Like, I'm going to show that scene and how cool it was right here. So, yeah, it was more impactful in the anime and manga how they did the walk to Arlong Park. Like, Nami crying, Luffy not saying anything, and then she finally asks for help, and Luffy puts a hat on her head, and he's like, of course I will. Which, I mean, again, the guy playing Luffy, he's imitating it perfectly. He's imitating Luffy perfectly. It's just like, I just got some nitpicks. But, of course, you could expect that when you're trying to condense, like, let's say, I think it was like 50 chapters in the manga, up to the point where Zed, well, no, probably about 100, maybe like 75 chapters. Let's say 75 chapters. They condensed that into 8 episodes. That is a lot to, like, chop up. But for the most part, they did pretty good. I don't know what Buggy the Clown led them to Arlong, because Buggy the Clown just leaves after he gets them there. And, like, they already got to Arlong Park anyway in the anime and manga just by, I don't know, guessing or just going in a general direction. But, and then, though I do love the tease of Alvida at the end. Ooh! Alvida and Buggy teaming up. Accurate. Although, this is nothing against her, but I thought, like, when Alvida came back, we saw she was, like, slim. They might be doing, like, a trick or something. Because what I would have done is either, like, gave her, like, a really, if that is, again, nothing against her, but, like, if that is her natural size, I would have, like, you know, like, animated it to look really big, and then, like, when she comes back, make her look like how she is now, because that's the power of Slim fruit that Alvida eats later. Zoro and Sanji's, like, dynamic and rivalry starts in episode 7, and I loved it because I think Sanji calls Zoro Masthead. It's like a 1 second thing. You have to, like, hear it or just know that reference. Zoro usually makes fun of Sanji's eyebrows, and Sanji makes fun of Zoro's hair. And I think Zoro calls him, like, curly brows, and then, like, Sanji calls him Bosshead. It's really funny. But as they're fighting these fishmen, like, they're taking on, and I got something to say about that too. They're taking on random fishmen, and at one point Zoro's, like, fighting, he gets wounded, because I was wondering what was going to happen. I'm like, Zoro, you were wounded by me. Like, when are you going to start taking, like, feel exhausted? He starts doing that, and then Sanji takes out one of the fishmen about to attack Zoro. And Zoro's like, I had that one. And Sanji's like, yeah, well, that's why I got him first. That's great. I love it. You're showing the rival. Because Zoro and Sanji, they're like friends, but they're like frenemies. Like, they're like, we're on the same crew. We work together, but they still butt heads a lot. Like, they're like brothers that butt heads. It's great. Zoro's the right-hand man, Sanji's the left hand, and Luffy's the captain. That's what they call the Monster Trio. Let me think about some other. Why did we show Hachi when we weren't going to use Hachi? Hachi is in episode 7, and he's supposed to be the one to fight Zoro with the it's either the 6 Zoro style or 8 Zoro style, because he's an octopus. He stands on 2 legs or 2 tentacles, and he uses like 6 or 8 Zords. And instead of doing that, we had Zoro and Sanji fight the fishman karate guy together until Sanji finishes him off, which was great. Because like I said, that guy in real life is a kickboxer, so it was fucking amazing. But yeah, like, Hachi was there, so it's like, it's not like you didn't have the costume or the animation for Hachi. You could just have him fight, like, we could have did like a triple fight, like Zoro fighting Hachi, or a 4-way fight. Usopp fighting Shu, Zoro fighting Hachi, Luffy fighting Arlong, and Sanji versus the fishman karate guy. It could have been budget and time constraint, but just something I had noticed. I do think young Nami was adorable, as well as her sister. It is accurate that Nami was adopted. We don't know where Nami comes from. Some people are like, referencing Nami with the moon. I don't really know anything about that, but like I've been heard like something about Kaguya with Nami. It's just like some random theory out there. But yes, Nami was adopted. Again, I'd love the diversity of this. Like, yes, Nami's sister wasn't black in the anime or manga, but it doesn't matter. Luffy's not Mexican, but he is here. Zoro's French. I think Sanji's white. I think Nami's white, and then Usopp's black. That it is very cool to see a very diverse cast, and they work together. And because it reminds me of cosplay. Like when, and this is like a little side tangent, but in like cosplay, I have seen a black Madara. This guy was decked out in Madara armor. He was a black guy, but he had the hair. He looked like Madara. When you go to a convention, it doesn't matter if you are Wolverine and you're Latino, or you are Starfire and you are like Asian. They will always call you by whatever you're cosplaying because we love these characters. We are attached to the characters. We are not attached to the color of skin. We're attached to the characters. And that's what I feel about this live action. Like, even though the cast is diverse and they don't match the characters from the anime or manga, it doesn't matter because I recognize just Luffy. That guy is emanating Luffy with his smile. That guy is emanating Sanji with his kicks and his personality woman. He is emanating Zoro with the hair and the attitude. She's representing Nami with the mischievousness and her staff and just like her Ura. Only problem I have is Usopp, but it's not the color of his skin. I have a problem with Usopp because he hasn't done anything. Yes, this is episode 8. You use your slingshot, use some trick gags, but like the episode where you had the cannonballs and they just dropped on the ground, I was like, Usopp, what are you doing? I think that was episode 7. I was like, you're supposed to be the marksman. You're supposed to already have these skills. Why are you dropping cannonballs? You're making Usopp look bad. And so when he tells these stories about how great he is, I'm like, I know it's a joke because we know that Usopp will become great later. And I love that Luffy supported him in episode 8. But it's like, show me more in the live action of you being great and doing great things. And then I can be like, yes, Usopp, you're going to get there. You will get there. And I will give him that one fight with you. Whenever he shot the exploding star and chews alcohol, yes, that was clever. Very clever. That shows Usopp's cleverness. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Nami's ferocity whenever she first walks in Arlong Park is accurate. Nami is not afraid of those fishmen. In the anime and manga, she actually hits one of them with her staff and knocks them out the way. She's like, hey, sorry, quick cut in here. I actually misquoted when I said Nami attacked a fishman coming up. She actually attacked a little kid that was trying to go in there and stab Arlong. She was doing this to protect the kid. That's the way it's played out. You won't know until you finish the arc. But yeah, that's what happens. I forgot what they said it accurately, but like she was like he was in her way or he was talking shit about her, and she just hit a bunch of staff. Even though Nami, she's afraid as far as like for her village, but she has like developed this toughness of like being a thief, stealing from pirates, stealing from marines to save her village, and like making the village think like she's against them when she's really trying to save them. She didn't want to tell them the truth. That hardened Nami, and that's why she's such a badass, and I love that. You got to see that in this anime where she like stabbed like one of their hands or something like that. It was great, very great. Yeah, you could also, and she's displaying good emotion. Like when I said earlier that like what they try to do in this episode is like rushed, because it is, because you can feel the pain from this actor's face when she's looking at the prison where she like was forced to draw these maps as a child in episode 7. But there's a lot of emotion that can build up over an anime or over time that's done way stronger in the anime and manga. But either way, like I still felt like that pain from her when I saw her face looking at that place. Oh yeah, Nami's adopted mother was a badass. She was a badass in the anime and manga as well. I don't remember if she was a marine, but yeah, Arlong killed her with a gun, and she stood there with her arms crossed, protecting her daughters. Her adopted mom was a badass, and I loved her mom in live action, especially when she turned those tangerines into like a pinwheel. The pinwheel is because of that guy, the general in the brown suit. I forget his name. Let me see if I wrote his name down. I don't see his name here, but yeah, the general. He normally had a pinwheel in his hat, and Nami used to think when Nami was a kid, she thought it was cute and stuff like that. But when Nami was found, Nami was alone. She wasn't with her sister when her mother found her. So that's a different change, because Nami was found by herself. Which is why I think like Nami's other sister was like her adopted mom's like biological child. But I don't know that for sure. But I know Nami was found alone. Let me see. Oh, so the other thing about live action, because anime and manga, it's more colorful. Like you can tell a city or a village different from each other. In live action, they all kind of look the same, sort of. Like Cocoa Village looks no different than like Luffy's town. Looks no different than like Usopp's village. It's just like because they're all gray and brown. Like in the anime and manga, everything's all colorful and it's different. So maybe that's my other problem with it. Like you can't really tell if the sets are. I mean, they might have a limited budget for like sets and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna complain too much. But it's just like different when you see like all the colors and stuff like that. Let me see. I love that Gorp's obsessed with food, like Luffy. Like whenever Zeph convinces him, he's like, "Oh, we got some steaks in the back," and the other Marines are like, "Hey, we're here for a mission, not for food." And Zeph's like, Gorp's like, "Yeah. We'll get to that in a second. What about that food? Love that. Let me see if I have any other notes. Oh, Genzo. Genzo was the guy's name with the pinwheel, or should have the pinwheel. He looks accurate as well as his design and face. Arlong lifting a house is definitely accurate. He does that in anime and manga to like show off like how much stronger fishmen are than humans. I'm forgetting. I don't remember if Nami met. No, Nami didn't meet the Straw Hats in the village. She met them over time because the first person she found, first time she found out they were on an island, Zoro was tied up from the ship and brought there by the fishman, and Nami kind of saves him in the middle of the night. She cuts him free and tells him to leave, and then Usopp runs into her next, and Usopp is going to be killed by these fishmen. He's trying to figure out from Nami like what's going on, and Nami's like runs up to him and Usopp's trying to create a diversion with this smoke screen, and Nami runs up and like stabs her hand, makes like she cut like Usopp, and she's like, "Fall into the water." He's like, "What?" She's like, "Fall into the water." And he does. And it looks like he got blood. And while the smoke clears, Nami's hiding her cut hand behind her back, so the fishmen don't know that she just saved Nami, because they don't know how Zoro escaped the night before. And now they had Usopp show up, and they're like, "Well, we're gonna kill this guy." And she saves Usopp by like faking that she killed him as well, trying to prove that she's still loyal to Arlong. So, but I mean, it was still great because Luffy doesn't believe that like she's a bad guy, which is true. Nami had like an agenda to save her village, and her village didn't even know. Neither did her sister. And the way that they find out is through that Marine Admiral that like Arlong. The reason why the fishmen were able to control Cocoa Village for so long is because they had like a Marine with the mouse ears and the whiskers, which I love. It looked good. It looked goofy in live action, but like again, it's One Piece, so it looked good on him. But yeah, they went to these Marine admirals were like basically like paying Arlong to like, "Hey, you pay us and we'll keep quiet about the fishman take control of this village." And eventually Arlong's like, "Hey, I need you to go steal this money from Mommy before she like pays up, because like, you know, I told her like I let her go and I can't have her be free." And so yes, that is how Nami found out that Arlong was like double crossing her, because the Marine comes and he's like, "Hey, I need this exact amount of money." He knew exactly where Nami buried it. And that's when Nami figured out, like, Arlong tricked me. He lied to me. And she tries to fight, or does knock down a Marine, but she knows, like, she can't do anything to Arlong. And that's when she starts stabbing her arm over and over again, talking about Arlong, like, very mad and very sad and crying about it. And Luffy comes, silently stops her from grabbing it, which they do in the live action, and I appreciate that. It looked really good. But that's when Nami's like, she's, like, telling Luffy to leave and, like, throwing dirt in his face. And Luffy doesn't say anything. He just stands there. And then Nami's like finally starts break down crying. She's like, "Luffy, help me." He puts the hat on her head, and he's like, "Of course I will." And all of them do the walk to Arlong Park. It is so good, guys. It is so good. Let me check my notes. Anything else on here from episode 7? I love Sanji flirting with Nami's sister. Like I said, that's accurate for Sanji. Oh yeah, the mouse dude is called Captain Nezuki or something like that. Let's see. I don't think I have anything else to say. Yeah, Gorp, Kobe, and Himoppo didn't show up on Arlong Park. But again, with the live action, they're changing things here and there. But yeah, they didn't show up in Arlong Park, so I thought that was kind of weird. Yeah, Arlong, it's accurate that Arlong captured Nami because of he wanted her for her mapping skills and things like that. I think that's all I have for episode 7. Yeah, and yeah, because I just talked about the ending of that. So yeah, and then I already talked about when Luffy punches open the door. Usopp using his slingshot again for the first time. It looks good in live action again because like we only saw like one other episode against Captain Kuro. Fishman's shoe looked good. All the fishmen look good. Even Arlong, and you can tell they're fans of the show or at least fans of anime to a great extent because I think Arlong's costume was from the time skip when he had first came to Cocoa Village, because there's a time skip later when you find out why Arlong hates humans so much, because originally Arlong didn't hate his humans as much as he does. He didn't hate them as much. But that all changed because of Tiger Fisher and what happened, but we're not going to get into that right now because we're not that far in the live action. I talked about how Sanji's kicks look great. Oh, Arlong's weapon looks amazing. The Saw Sword. I love when like Luffy punched out his teeth and like they grew back. That's another great homage from the anime and manga. Oh, the speed they show from these fishmen are really cool. Like when he's like with the karate fishermen like gliding through the water really fast. Yeah, I think I talked about all that too. Obviously, these fights are cut down a lot. So I'm gonna make sure I go through all my notes. And I love Sanji copying Luffy's joke about like all great fighters call out their moves, and Zoro's like, "You're gonna fit in fine." And it's funny because Zoro has not yet called out his signature moves either, but I hope he does because Usopp does it too. Usopp says exploding star, special attack exploding star. So yeah, I hope Zoro eventually develops that like thing to call out his attack names. That would be funny to see. Oh, we finally got to see Gum Gum Gatling and Gum Gum Rocket. Both of them look good. Gatling looked kind of weird, but I understand why. And then Rocket, when he uses that against Gorp, was pretty good. Also, oh yeah, the fight with Gorp, that didn't happen. At least, I mean, there are encounters with Gorp where Luffy like fights Gorp, but I love how accurate they showed like how much stronger Gorp is. And Gorp was clearly holding back because we know Gorp can destroy an island. Gorp casually can destroy an island, but I still loved it. The finishing attack of Arlong and taking down the prison that Nami was in as a child was accurate to the anime and manga. I do think it looks better in anime and manga, but I mean, because like with the emotion that was in it too, when Luffy destroys it and Nami sees it and she stops crying, because Luffy destroying the prison that she was in is like symbolic to her. Like that means a lot to her. Let's see. I love the party at the end. That's usually a thing that happens at the end of One Piece. Like after they save an island, they throw a party, which is something I think is going to be related to Luffy's dream. I was talking about that in a separate video one day. But yeah, I think Luffy wants to throw a giant party at the end of One Piece after he becomes King of the Pirates, because we always have a party at the end of all of our arcs, which is great. Let's see. Do I have any other notes to say? Oh, yeah, Gorp sharing this laugh at Luffy after he takes him down is great, because the reason why he visions Goldie Roger is Gorp and Roger were friends to an extent. We don't know the full extent, but we know that they teamed up together to take down the Rocks pirates. So they had some kind of relationship. Roger was friends with Whitebeard. He was friends with Odin. He told somebody else, I think it was Odin and Whitebeard. Goldie Roger told somebody what his dream was. I think it was those two. But yeah, he has a relationship with Gorp as well. Let me see. Oh, I love Luffy's reaction to getting his wanted poster. It wasn't given to him by Kobe. I think it just came by like a bird, like the birds that deliver the news. But yeah, Luffy's excitement and Usopp's excitement, because he's like, oh, the back of my head's on the poster. I'm famous. And the homage of everybody seeing the poster is great, because that does happen. Like over time, as everybody gets a bounty and wanted poster, we get homages of like the East Blue families seeing the posters with their friends and family, or friends and people they care about, and they like are excited because like this is their dream to become famous pirates. Let's see. Gorp agreeing to train Kobe and Helmeppo is accurate as well. Oh, and Shanks' interaction with Mihawk is great. I love like Shanks' humor. He is growing on me now. I still don't think he physically intimidates me for Shanks, but like he's growing on me, especially his crew. But Shanks saying Luffy's bounty, I love that because he was excited when Luffy got his first bounty. It's not a big bounty, but when Luffy takes on one of the emperors and becomes emperor status, Shanks does take it a little more serious. He's like, okay, Luffy, you're kind of getting up there. I'm about to fight you soon. I don't think Luffy and Shanks are going to fight. That's another whole video anyway. But yeah, I love that. Luffy's Jolly Roger at the end looks great on the ship. I still don't like how the Mary looks. I'm sorry. The Mary just looks weird to me. Yeah, everyone, in the end, everybody gets their real outfits. Usopp's finally in that traditional costume. I don't know, maybe they wanted to like save that for the finale for Usopp, but like again, if Usopp had given me more, I'd be more excited to see him in his final costume. But I was more like, I was like, yeah, finally, Usopp, you're in your actual costume. Oh, and the ending teaser with Smoker, oh, that looks good. I can't wait to play Smoker. I'm saving that for season 2. I can't wait to see it. Because Smoker is a big deal. He's the one that's going to chase Luffy constantly. He's the Marine that like really wants to capture Luffy. I do think it'd be Kobe at some point, but Chaser is the one that really wants, or Smoker is the one that really wants to capture Luffy. So it was a great ending. Overall, despite my biasness, I love the live action. The changes they made, especially trying to condense it down to 8 episodes, is great. And the live action cast are having a lot of fun. I do hope for season 2, Usopp, you do more. Show me more gag weapons. Show me more of how great you are. Sanji, you're amazing. You're a fucking kickboxer in real life. Zoro, you're amazing. I love your personality, your persona, everything you're giving to it. Luffy, keep doing what you're doing. You're top tier, Luffy. Nami, keep doing what you're doing. You're amazing as well. Gorp, Helmeppo, all the cast, all the writers, Ichiro Oda, thank you for giving us a story. I really love One Piece. I'm a huge One Piece fan. I remember the first time I saw it was on 4Kids, and it was a One Piece rap. That rap, guys, got me so hyped to ever watch this show. And so I'm in the video here. Again, we'll talk about the live action season 2 when it happens. Until then, look out for other reviews, especially weekly reviews about One Piece, My Hero Academia, and Black Clover, or as well as Dr. Stone, Demon Slayer, because we'll be going through those as well. For now, guys, that's all for this video. Talk to you soon. Hey, guys, this video was sponsored by me, the author of the Shinry series, the Chronicles of Wayne, and Monsterverse. So I figured I'd do this outro a little bit different by showing you guys what you guys will be checking out. So, the Shinry series starts with Book 1, Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku. 10 years after the death of his parents, Shobu Samurai returns home seeking vengeance, but instead faces the choice to save his home from shadow creatures, blood beasts, and an organization once thought dead. Shinry's Shobu Samurai starts at $9.99. And if you love anime, manga, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Fairy Tail, Shaman King, Rave Master, Zatch Bell, anything like that, the Shinry series is definitely the series for you. You'll definitely want to check it out. The Sword of Light is probably the thickest one so far. And then these books are 2. This is Enter the Dread Zone Tournament. And the series original ending, Arado, the Legendary Conjuring Master. So, and I'll just show you guys some of the covers. Really proud of all of these. But I hope you guys check it out. If you don't like that, I also have the current published books for the Chronicles of Wayne, Love Be Damned, Cotton Candy, Full Moons, Fabled Lovers, A Cursed Virgin's Bite. If You Go Where Monsters Dance, Red will Rain Over Your House. Love Be Damned. Now, the Chronicles of Wayne is about a geeky guy, or a nerdy guy in high school. His senior year, he has a crush on the hottest guy in school, because of course he does. He's only got one best friend, and her name is Barb. Well, the hottest guy in school turns out to be a werewolf. And to make the story more interesting, he bites Wayne and turns Wayne into the first ever wolfman in the last 10 years. And because of that, it was also a sacred law that wolfmen should never be created. I don't want to get into too much of the Chronicles of Wayne without spoiling it, but I can tell you it's very short. This one sells for $6.99, and Love Be Caged right after it. The ending of this trilogy, Love Be Liberated, comes out in October. So I'm going to definitely do a more full in-depth review of this one. But yeah, it's an LGBT fantasy fiction story about werewolves, vampires, white witches, a dark warlock, and, well, many, many more surprises to come. So if you guys like to read, I definitely recommend. These are all the books so far in the Shinry series, except for Shinry's Beginning. I do have that one, but it's just not here with me. But yeah, I appreciate a like, support, or just a review on Amazon. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.